Hello, my friends, hello, and welcome once again to stately Vaughan Manor, where Roger and I have returned for the Robert E. Howard Show. It's the Robert E. Howard Show once again. It's not actually the Robert E. Howard Show I was going to do today. That will be coming soon, though. That'll be coming up on Tuesday. But today, I'm talking about something other than what I was going to talk about. Today, we're going to be talking about this book from the Robert E. Howard Foundation Press, Tales of Weird Menace. It's Tales of Weird Menace, a fantastic new volume from the Robert E. Howard Foundation Press featuring Skullface. It features Skullface. That would be this fella here, who looks just a little bit familiar. Who does this guy remind me of, Roger? Actually, let's be honest. This fella's a little bit better looking than Roger. That's Skullface for you in Tales of Weird Menace. And I was really excited to get this. I was looking forward to this volume being printed. Mostly because it has Skullface in it, which is a rather famous story from Robert E. Howard. Although it hasn't been reprinted all that often. Certainly not as often as most of his other stories. I kind of expected Del Rey to print it when they did their horror stories volume, but they didn't. And frankly, this is a better place for it anyway. Tales of Weird Menace. So Weird Menace was a kind of an odd genre in the pulps. Weird Menace stories are kind of a combination of horror and mystery stories. Usually, it turns out that the menace is of non-supernatural origin, although not always. And this volume has a bunch of pretty rare stories, actually. Stories that are hard to find in other places. And that's one of the reasons this is so exciting. The Robert E. Howard Foundation Press, of course, is publishing all kinds of stuff that hasn't been reprinted in popular editions for a long, long time, if ever. So it's great. It's great. And this is an exciting volume to have. Skullface is a really interesting story. It is Robert E. Howard's version of a Sax Rohmer Fu Manchu story. You know, it's very much based on those stories. The difference being that Skullface is better than those. Sax Rohmer was one of Robert E. Howard's favorite writers. He had several of his books, I believe, in his library. And certainly the influence was there. Fu Manchu, of course, the Yellow Peril character, the criminal mastermind, Fu Manchu. I read a couple of those books. They were not bad, you know, as that kind of thing goes. But I like Skullface better. Not a perfect story, Skullface, certainly, but it's pretty good. And it's an excellent, excellent pulp story. It has a lot of the elements you'll find in pulp stories of the time, but all done in Robert E. Howard's unique way. And he takes the basic outline of a Fu Manchu story and really does his own thing with it. And it's really interesting, tremendously entertaining. And a lot of Robert E. Howard critics have really enjoyed that story. In fact, August Derleth, when he printed Robert E. Howard's stories in hardcover for the first time in Arkham House, he called his volume Skullface and Others, which is kind of high praise for that story. He definitely thought that Skullface was one of Robert E. Howard's best tales. And so it's really exciting to see that printed again in a really nice edition, which is full of other stuff. So you're getting a lot in this book, not just Skullface, but a lot of other Weird Menace stories from the pulps. It has an introduction from Don Herron. The Herron's done Herron's done a lot of work uh, on Robert E. Howard in Robert E. Howard's scholarship. He's also done a lot of work for other writers as well. Dashiell Hammett is a favorite of his. In fact, he used to give walking tours in San Francisco. He did the Dashiell Hammett walking tours in San Francisco. And he did that for a long time. He did that until 2022, I think. And I almost did that once. I almost went on one of those Dashiell Hammett walking tours. And I really, really wish I had, just because it would have given me a chance to meet him. But, and plus, I'm a big Dashiell Hammett fan. And I'm just across the bridge from San Francisco. So, you know, why not? It would have been cool, but I didn't for whatever reason. And now I really, really, really regret not taking that walking tour. But I had my worries, you know, because Roger, you take him out to San Francisco, he's just going to cause a bunch of bloodshed. So, you know, I had my worries about it. Roger, you're nothing but trouble. Anyway, where was I? I was talking about this book here. So it has an introduction by Don Herron. Of course, it has another magnificent Mark Wheatley cover. I mean, this is fantastic. Such a fantastic and perfect cover for this volume. He's been great on this series of books of just, you know, coming up with fantastic covers that are perfect for the books themselves. But this book has a lot of other stuff, aside from Skullface, which of course is the main attraction. But it also has a bunch of stories that, you know, can be a little hard to find in other places. There is the Noseless Horror, not Roger, because Roger, you actually have a nose. You're missing some other parts, but you've got your nose all right. So the Noseless Horror is in this book. The Brazen Peacock. Black John's Vengeance is in this book. Talons in the Dark. That's a good pulp title right there. The Hand, what was it? The Hand of the Black Goddess. Sons of Hate. Moon of Zimbabwe. Black Hound of Death. The Devils of Dark Lake. I don't think I've ever read that. Guests of the Hoodoo Room, and Black Wind Blowing. So those are the tales of Weird Menace. And there's also some miscellanea. We've got some unfinished stories and some drafts. A lot of unfinished stuff. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in the back of this volume, which is awesome. Stuff that you won't find anyplace else. And this book is actually pretty thick. How many pages is this thing? It's got to be 500 pages, right? Yeah, it's 518 pages. So you get a lot in this book. And a lot of those stories, you could find some of them in sort of like cheapo ebooks here and there. But as far as an actual collection, a physical collection, this is it for a lot of those stories. And so it's fantastic that this is out there. If you're a pulp fan, definitely got to get it. I mean, this is awesome. And if you're a Robert E. Howard fan, man, you need to get this book because Skullface is in it. And I really look forward to reading this. So I've got a pile of these books from the Robert E. Howard Foundation Press that I've got to read, but this is high on my list. Like I said, I was looking forward to this coming out. I saw it was coming out, and I was like pretty excited about it. And yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. And they've got some other stuff coming up. I got the news that I think the next book that they're going to be coming out with is volume 1 of his boxing stories, which is great. I think Robert E. Howard Foundation Press originally did 3 volumes of boxing stories, and those are all going to be reprinted in these new editions. That's awesome. Robert E. Howard's boxing stories are pretty important as far as his career is concerned. And yeah, that's going to be great. But for right now, this is looking pretty awesome. So there you go. Tales of Weird Menace. You should get this book. Okay, Roger. I'll shut up now. See, you can't even tell the difference there. I still think he's a little bit better looking than you, Roger. No offense. Okay, guys, I will catch you next time.